Tom?
Mr. Stefan Larsen, how are we doing, buddy?
Fantastic. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. Today two big fights were announced. It's the Brazilian guy, what's his name? Alex Pereira against Yuri Prochazka, right? And
Yeah,
Edwards versus Covington. It's both of them are gonna be great to watch, man. Like, I'm quite happy that these two fights, have been made. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. What are your thoughts about them?
I'm glad to see Leon Edwards in the cage again. It's been, it feels like it's been a while, even though maybe it hasn't. But yeah, and Colby, he's a little bit underrated in my opinion. He's always like good stamina, good conditioning, always fights really hard.
Yeah,
He has his kind of weird promotion attitude, where he pays girls
yeah.
to be in his promotion videos, and I think he comes off as a creepy dude because even the girls are like, "Oh, don't touch me there, don't hold me there," so they're not even enjoying getting paid for a promotion, like which is not dirty. It's just like it's just weird. It comes off weird, the whole thing.
Yeah,
So
it's fucking cringe. But I mean, I think he's doing this kind of cringe persona, on purpose. I don't think he's cringe by accident. I think he's cringe on purpose. I think that's part of the ways how he gets more people like following him and more people like watching his fights. So yeah, like the dude is putting up a weird persona, but for sure, the guy can fight. The guy has a
yeah, but
great cardio, as you said, and yeah, the guy is a great wrestler, overall a good fighter. So
yeah, but come on, he's putting on a persona, but that persona just comes from a place. So maybe he's like overdoing it, but that guy comes off a little bit weird anyway. So I'm not buying it. That is a whole fucking paid performance act from his side. I think he has thousands of ways of promoting his fights and making attention around it. And he could do it in funny ways, he can do it in weird ways. And now he brings like chicks in bikinis and tries to play it off like a cool guy. And even the girls are like, nah, they don't like it. So I think he's a kind of creepy guy when it comes to that thing. It tries to be something that he's not. So that aside, I'm excited to see him fight Leon Edwards. Do I think he has a chance? Of course. Do I think he will win? No.
you don't think? Wow, okay. I got Colby on that one, man.
Yeah.
I got Colby on that, yeah, because I would say just because of his wrestling, I think he has a lot better wrestling than Leon Edwards, and I think when Leon Edwards fought Usman the first time, so it was Usman's wrestling which made the difference, right? Like though on the the second and third fight, Edwards pulled them off, obviously. But I think that Colby's pressure, mixed with his wrestling, he has a fairly good stand-up game as well. I think that's gonna make a difference, and he's gonna take it probably by decision, but let's see. Nevertheless, Leon Edwards, is a great fighter, and you can never count him off. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some good points there. I also would think if Colby takes the win, it's going to be by decision. Stamina, just endurance, just pressure,
Yeah,
just working it through.
yeah,
But Leon Edwards has shown he's a championship fighter.
yeah.
He goes 5 rounds. He can go toe to toe. That's the iconic speech from his like, Leon, you gotta come out of the fire. You gotta pull
Oh,
it
that
out.
was that was
You gotta wake
awesome.
up, right? So
Yeah,
he has
that was
shown
awesome, man.
yeah, Leon Edwards has shown the capability of just doing that in the final rounds of the final minute of the for championship fight. So I think he's a different fighter now. I think he feels he has too much to lose, so his dedication is so hard. Colby knows that he's at the end of his career. He needs to make something happen. If it's not going to be now, it's going to be tough for him to get a title fight again. So based on
for sure.
that,
I would say, do you think it's Colby's last chance to get the UFC title?
well, they don't give that away, those kind of fights.
Yeah.
And
I
you
would
got to be
also say it's like probably his last
no, but you got to
chance.
have the motivation. You got to stay healthy. You can't get injured. You got to stay emotionally on top of your game. So it's just like being the champ or being in a position to challenge the champ. That's just like a micro window in your lifetime. Everything has to be in place in order to get a fight like that. Imagine how many fighters who wants to have that fight, and Colby gets it.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to
UFC, I mean, everybody in the division would want to have that fight. Like,
everybody
realistically,
wants to have a belt. Everybody wants to go for the belt. So when it comes down to it, I think it's too much pressure on Colby. It's not aligned with his kind of way to do it. I think that when he fights Leon is going to be more relaxed. He's going to be ready to knock him out. Headshot, double trouble.
So that's your prediction? Leon by headshot knockout, like against Usman?
No, that's my wish for the fight. That's my wish for the fight. But my prediction is Leon Edwards is gonna probably shake him and yeah, at least if not knockout, TKO by stoppage.
I see. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see for sure. I think I'm hoping for Colby to win, just because Colby would be a more interesting character as a champion than Leon Edwards, right? I think Leon Edwards is a fucking great fighter, right? But he's boring as a person, right? He never fucking shows anything exciting in the interviews, in the press conferences. He's a great fighter, but that's all. I think Colby, on the other hand, would be way more entertaining. And then imagine someone like Chimaev getting to be the next challenger, and challenging Colby for the title shot. Like, those press conferences, like, they would be fucking awesome, man. Like, they would have like so much trash talk and all that shit. So it would be a lot of fun to watch, and that would sell. So I think the UFC also wants Colby to win this match, probably because he's just like more marketable as a champion, I believe.
Yeah, I think there could be more like a circus feeling around it, but keeping Leon Edwards on top, that will be keeping it true to the name of the game. They will show like the skills. For me, fighting is enough for entertainment. I don't need that all flashy stuff around it. So when it comes down to it, I'll watch any cool MMA fight as long as it's a good fight. I don't care what's happening on the side of it.
For sure, I agree.
But when you mentioned Chimaev, that's interesting. Did you see the interview where he was asked, like, why do you always say you're going to smash everybody? Did you see that interview?
I've actually not seen that. What was his answer to that question?
Yeah, so the reporter asked Chimaev, like, why do you always like tell people like I'm gonna smash everybody, I'm smash everybody? And he said, with his accent, like, I don't understand all the questions the reporters are asking me. So when it's a difficult question, I always respond, I'll smash everybody. They love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
So what's your predictions for the fight? I'll smash everybody. What do you have for breakfast? I'll smash everybody.
Yeah, that's a good answer, right? You can never go wrong with that kind of answer, because it's fucking true anyway. I mean, he smashed everybody so far. So apart from Gilbert Burns, right? We can say like he never really smashed Gilbert Burns because it was like a close fight in a decision. So, but other than that, he pretty much smashed everyone. So,
that was a cool fight.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be very interesting against Paulo Costa, because like Paulo Costa will have the size advantage over Chimaev. He's gonna be like a little bit bigger, Also like better striking, more power. But the wrestling is obviously gonna be on Chimaev's side. So it's gonna be interesting to see. What are your predictions? What are your thoughts about that fight?
Hey, you forgot to mention that Costa, he's got that secret juice as well, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's for sure. He couldn't even deny that he's on the secret juice, right? By the way, the motherfucker is looking, so
Yeah, it's almost like the same with Pereira and Chimaev. Those two fighters have something around their persona. They have some momentum there, because when it comes down to it, like those big heavy muscles, those like those chipped abs that Costa has, you know, that kind of good looking stuff. Chimaev, he doesn't care about those things. Like even if he wanted to build muscle, like he doesn't, he's not interested in that. He's interested in smashing and fighting, and he doesn't care. He's not afraid of muscles. Come on, like
yeah,
that's not gonna affect
obviously.
him.
Like, who the fuck is
So,
afraid of muscles, though? You know what I
well, I
mean?
think that's just a natural reaction. If you see a big, strong guy, it's not too easy to fuck with that guy. So I think that's just a natural reaction. And if you see an athlete and a fighter with grappling skills and striking skills as Costa with big muscles, that's going to do something to your mentality. But unfortunately, for Costa's sake, I don't think that's going to be an issue with the Chimaev. Chimaev is going to be smart. He'll learn from the Gilbert Burns fight, just to stand bang it out. It's not an intelligent way of fighting. It is a cool way of fighting because it was a cool fight, but he's learned from that, and he's gonna be very, very smart in taking Costa out. But he's not gonna be afraid to fight him, like bang it out with him. So he will stand on his stance. He will stand on his ground. He will not move back. He will meet him face to face, and he will take him down, and he will smash. That's my feeling around it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really think it's gonna play out that way. But it's quite interesting what you said about the muscles. Yeah, like the people who, you know, never had like a boxing class in their life, and it's these people who think that, yeah, because this guy has a lot of muscles, so he must be able to fight really good, right? So it's like very funny, but there is some truth to it, right? Because of the weight and stuff. So obviously, if there's a bodybuilder, he's gonna be able to beat most average Joes, right? But if someone like even fucking, you know, what's his name, the new bantamweight champ, like Sean O'Malley, right? Like he's a skinny dude, but I believe, you know, he can beat like fucking 99% of the bodybuilders, you know, even if they are like, you know, 100 pounds heavier than him. There's been this bodybuilder, I don't know what's his name, but he actually challenged, I think, Sean O'Malley, you know, and they talked about it that they might make a fight. The guy is like fucking 260 pounds or something. So like
he's like a podcast YouTuber guy, or
I think he's a very famous bodybuilder, but I really don't know his name. Like he got like a couple million followers or something, and he's like huge dude, you know. But I think if they fought, you know, Sean O'Malley would just probably, you know, put him in a fucking knee bar or something, and the guy will need to use like fucking crutches after like, you know, fucking 3 months after that. So
yeah, I think it's more about what I think when it comes to a bodybuilder or these heavy muscles, like these surf dudes with really big heavy muscles. It's not they're not good fighters, but it's just a matter of time, you know. Because when it comes down to it, you can be very athletic, you can look very sharp. What's that American young fighter who got knocked out early? Young guy. He always does these tricks in the Octagon. And he got knocked really bad out. His jaw was broke and everything. Sage Norcutt or something like this.
Oh, Sage Norcutt, yeah, that was like a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah. He had a comeback, you know, just to get back in the ring, you know. But with this guy, he does his backflips. He's super athletic. He's strong. But when it came down to it, this guy just knocked him out cold, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So when that's said, it's like you can have tough fighters that are really athletic and physically scary with big muscles and good athleticism, but you need to be able to carry that weight.
Yeah.
Chimaev, look at him, like skinny dude. Look
Yeah,
at John
quite
Jones.
skinny.
Look at John Jones. He's not heavy muscle. His calves looks like a 12-year-old, you know, he skinny chicken legs, right? But he's perfectly balanced as a fighter. And
Yeah.
what also I want to say is, did you hear John Jones, what he said when he was coaching the tough fighters?
I didn't even know that Jones coached the tough. Like I didn't even
Well,
know that he was
maybe I should be careful saying it was tough. I saw him just in a coaching session with a group of fighters. So maybe it was
right.
like a
Okay.
guest
No,
appearance or
I don't
some.
know. I don't know what happened there.
No, so he's like telling the guys like use the elbows. They are working on the ground. Do this, do that, and then he said something like it's pretty obvious when you think about it, but he said use your elbows, cut your opponent. You know,
Mm.
most fighters haven't seen their own blood.
Oh yeah.
So when you take that mentality of it, if you have Chimaev, doesn't matter how good looking, how strong, how fast the other opponent is. When you start cutting them open and they start to see their own blood, they start to freak out. Most people haven't. Have you seen your own blood in a fight?
Me personally,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's a scary feeling, seeing your own blood coming out of your face, your head, right?
Oh, you know, it's to me personally, like it's not so scary, but I don't know, like I think it depends, you know, from person to person probably. But I mean, I pretty much doubt that anybody in the UFC or even like lower level cage fighters that they would be scared of that, you know. Like, do you think that's an issue? Like, I understand what John
100%.
Jones said, but
100%, but it's not my opinion. It's my observation, and it's the statement of the greatest fighter of all times in modern history. So of course that's an issue. When you getting an elbow to your forehead and it opens up your forehead and you start bleeding over all your face. Look at the fighters when they get punched in the face and their nose stop. They go like they touch their nose and like try to. Why do you look at your hand? If you're bleeding, you're bleeding. What's looking at your hand, seeing the blood? What's gonna change in your game plan? You're gonna fight harder now. You need a physical evidence to see that. You know, it's just a mental approach in the game. And once you have the other opponent looking at like, oh shit, I'm hurt, I'm damaged. You have them on the defensive mentality.
right.
And in that game, it's so short between winning and losing. So I think like a fighter like Chimaev, a fighter like Pereira, they have some brutality in their behavior that's that not a lot of fighters have. So when it comes down to it, I think Chimaev is going to take the win. It's going to be too heavy for Costa to fight him. He's not yeah. So I'll give the win to Chimaev.
Yeah, I agree. I think Chimaev is gonna win that too. But I mean, Paulo Costa, on the other hand, I mean, the guy is a fucking dog too. You know, like you seen his fight against Yoel Romero. Like Yoel Romero, he punches so fucking hard, man. You know, and like Costa just stood in front of him and they just fucking banged, right? Like that was like one of the best fights I've ever seen. So I think Costa has kind of this you know, not scared mentality, and you know, he has this dog inside of him. So it's gonna be interesting to see, especially if they decide to stand in front of each other and box. You know, that would be awesome to see. But then again, if Chimaev is smart, then you know, then he's just gonna take him down, and I would say like probably submit him, because even though like Costa is a black belt, but he's not really a high level black belt, right? I mean, he's not like, you know, fucking Charles Oliveira or Fabricio Verdum or someone like that. He's just a black belt, right? So Chimaev's like grappling is way higher level than Costa's, so he can get a submission for sure.
That's true. But I also think, you know, I see that Costa he struggles a lot with weight, you know, like off season, on season kind of feeling. If in fight camp, out of fight camp, it's like he blows up a lot and not in a healthy way. Chimaev also had sometimes where he misses weight, you know, with the Diaz fight and this kind of stuff. I think that was just like an excuse for not fighting Diaz because they wanted to give Diaz a dignified way out of the UFC.
Yeah.
But
Do you
when it
think
comes
like the
down to it,
UFC told Chimaev to lose weight, or?
I don't know if they told him, but I don't think they was mad because of it. They're not penalizing him or giving him a lot of.
Yeah, and I was like quite happy because it was a way better fight to make,
Matchup.
like Diaz
Yeah.
against Ferguson. It was way better for both of them because actually they both of them had a chance to win. And Chimaev, he fought like Kevin Holland. That was also a great fight, even though he got the win like very easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Diaz and Ferguson, it was a good way to go out for Diaz for sure. And yeah, like Tony Ferguson, obviously he seems to be very, very much on the decline right now, which is very bad thing to see because he was a fucking animal back in the days, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So when we're sticking to Chimaev and Costa, I think, Chimaev is a much more emotional, stable fighter, and he has a brutality to it. And so I got my money on Chimaev, even though I'm not taking any away from Costa. I think he's a cool fighter. I wouldn't mind having him on in covering my back if I was in trouble. He's a proper
Yeah,
animal himself. So nothing to take away credit for him, but Chimaev is on a flow, and you see how smart he defeated Holland after Burns fight. He's like he learned like go in, finish the fight, absorb minimal damage, hit, don't get hit. This kind of mentality. And I think that's also improved in him. So I think that's what we're going to see against Paulo Costa.
yeah, for sure. I agree with you, man.
So Alex Pereira, man.
It's gonna be great as well against Hiri Prochazka, right? I'm not sure if I pronounce his name correct, but yeah. Anyway, uh, it's gonna be a great fight, man. Like there are just two. I think Prochazka's style is like his background is from Muay Thai, right? And Pereira is more like a kickboxer and not a Muay Thai fighter. But anyways, two stand-up guys, two kickboxers basically. They both have like great kicks, great boxing. Uh, it's just gonna be very interesting to see. And Pereira won't have the weight advantage in this fight because he moved up a weight class and yeah, I'm like very thrilled for that fight. Uh, Also, it's Prochazka's comeback after like more than a year or something. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see. And I think it's like 50-50, to be honest, to like who's gonna win that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of with Pereira, you've been seeing him winning all his fights. Okay, the thing when he lost to Adesanya, okay, but not anything like alarming. Everybody can get caught, right?
Yeah,
But at the end of it, he has such a momentum. It's just some impressive way of entering the highest league of mixed martial arts fighting, and then
yeah,
just absorbing it with huge success. So it feels like impossible for him to lose a fight. It
oh
doesn't
yeah,
matter if you put him against anybody. He has truly uh, proven that he's a tough fighter and he can take on the best fighters in the world, right?
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think he had one of the fastest title runs in the UFC. He got the title shot after like what, 3 fights, I believe. So yeah, for sure, he's an impressive fighter, and I'm like really thrilled for that fight because I think Prochazka is not gonna try to take him down, right? He's gonna try to just fucking stand up with him, and it's gonna be like a kickboxing match. And that's why it's gonna be like very interesting to see, because it's gonna be like very little grappling. I would say like probably even Pereira is gonna be the one trying to take, you know, Prochazka down, because that would be like a surprise from him. So, and he's now training a lot with Glover Teixeira, right? Who's a black belt and stuff like that. So that would be interesting too if there's some grappling in it. But yeah, most of the time I think it's gonna be a stand-up fight, and they're both so technical and, you know, hit hard as fuck. So it's gonna be great to see, man.
Those guys are animals, man. Yeah, it's a good point that you're making there. You know, you saw that with Connor and Khabib. You know, everybody's like Khabib is going to grapple him, and then he just switched it up. And I don't remember if it was the second round or whatever, but and then he just like punched him right on the chin, right on the money, man. He's just like boom,
Yeah,
and Connor wobbled. He got tagged, and then he tried to go in for a takedown, and Connor like in his groggy moment just jumped a knee and almost hit him with a knee. You know, that
yeah,
situation was kind of surprising for everybody, especially for Connor, you know. So because everybody was expecting Khabib to avoid standing up, you know, fighting. So that would be a cool thing to see if Pereira just goes for the takedown and tries to
yeah,
develop himself as a MMA fighter in the UFC fight, you know, not in the gym, not in the training, not in camp, but in the actual fight, like being fearless, doing that, trying to have
yeah.
some game
Yeah,
on the
like
grappling game.
Ngannou did in his last fight, like against Cyril Gane, right?
Yeah,
He took him down, you know, and that was like a fucking smart decision from him, because he was losing the fight, like he was losing the stand-up fight, because Gane was like so technical and, you know, just staying out of range, you know, just hitting like kicking him with the you know, long legs, and, you know, just jabbing his face off and stuff like that. And he was
yeah.
losing the fight on points, and then it was the takedowns that actually changed it to him. So like fucking Francis Ngannou like won a fight with his wrestling. So that could be in this fight as well. If one of them is losing, then just try to bring in, you know, their wrestling, and try to win the fight that way, maybe on points.
Yeah. That would be a cool thing to see, huh?
Uh,
If Alex Pereira, world champion kickboxer, fastest title shots in the UFC, and just develops as a fighter with a grappling or submission win,
Yeah,
huh?
imagine he gets the submission in like the first round or something, you know, but it's with
Jesus.
some crazy shit like some fucking flying armbar or some, you know, gogo plata choke or some shit like that, right?
Flying armbar.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about transitioning into different kind of styles and Francis Ngannou transitioning into boxing, fighting Tyson Fury.
yeah. Oh
What
man.
do you think?
You know, I think
We
we
talked
talked
about this
about that.
before, but I would just want to like touch it again.
Yeah, like I have a, you know, very special opinion about that fight, because I think it's a show off for the money, and I think that apart from his puncher's chance, right? Ngannou doesn't really have a way to win that fight. Like the only way he can win that fight is if he lands a shot and, you know, knocks Fury out. But it's no fucking way that he's gonna win on points. Fury is just like too technical, and, you know, I think it's kind of a ridiculous idea to make this fight. But on the other hand, I'm very happy for Ngannou because he's making a lot of money with this. So, you know, good for him for sure. But I'll still watch it, you know. But I think it's just so obvious that Fury is gonna win that.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
Nagano's gonna shake up the world, man.
Oh man, I want to make a bet against you on this. Like, let's put up like
Francis
100 euros or
Nagano,
something, you know.
Francis Nagano is gonna make this 206 centimeter British gypsy giant lying down horizontal in the canvas of a boxing ring.
Oh man, I would be like fucking surprised, you know. But it would be, you know, it would be awesome to see. Like if Ngannou gets it done, that would be like extremely impressive, man. Why do you think Ngannou is gonna win?
Again, it's not a clinical prediction. It's more of an emotional wish for me. But when it comes down to it, he has Mike Tyson in his corner. I know that's not going to revolutionize his way of fighting as a boxer. He's not going to excel in 3 months preparation in the way that Tyson Fury has excelled as a boxer for fucking 20 years, right?
Yeah.
But I think having Tyson in the corner, these guys are on a life mission. This guy was a refugee, living on the street, getting chased by police, border patrols. You know, a lot of his friends died when they tried to escape from Africa. You know, and this guy has beaten all the odds, and this means so much for him. So when he's kind of very respectful, but also relaxed in the way of approaching the goals, you know, and that just tells me that he's just confident in his behavior, confident in his training, confident in his goals. So I don't know, man. Tyson Fury, I saw him lately on doing these kind of reality shows with his wife, and you know, it's like it's a little. The fighter in him, okay, I understand. You have a lot of experience, but this guy is a killing machine. He's hungry. He's big. He's gonna, yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see. The odds are probably very strong on Tyson Fury's side, but when it comes down to it, I want to see that that African power coming to life.
For sure. Man. I mean, and Ngannou, I mean, it would be extremely impressive if he would be a UFC champion then, and also like a boxing champion. But yeah, I think you mentioned like Fury's preparation, right? So the other way how he could lose this fight is if he absolutely just doesn't take it serious, and you know, he goes and gets drunk and shit like that in the preparation.
He's not going to do that. I've seen the interviews. He's very focused on not doing that.
Yeah, I think Fury is too professional for that. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you for the talk, and have a fantastic evening in Budapest City, man.
For sure, man, and you too. And see you next time, yeah?
Take care, buddy.